for a very warm welcome on this, my first official visit to your wonderful and beautiful country, India. I had the special pleasure of meeting with Prime Minister Modi earlier today, where we had very fruitful discussions about issues of mutual interest and concern at the bilateral, regional, and multilateral levels. Jamaica and India has similarities in development challenges, and it was an eye-opening experience to be able to discuss some of these challenges with Prime Minister Modi, who is a visionary leader and someone who I quite admire, and indeed much of what he has implemented forms the pathway that countries like Jamaica could very well emulate for our own development. I feel a special sense of gratitude, therefore, that I can conclude the day with a meeting and dinner with friends in the Confederation of Indian Industry to speak more pointedly about the investment opportunities that Jamaica has to offer. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that I would like to stress is Jamaica's very enviable track record as a stable, democratic society with a remarkable story of economic rebound from the COVID-19 pandemic. Our journey has been one of sacrifice and very hard decisions, but which have reaped tremendous rewards for the government and the people of Jamaica. While Jamaica is world-renowned for speed on the track, with athletes like Usain Bolt and Shelley and Fraser Price, in recent times we have been receiving quite a bit of recognition for the speed and strength of our recovery and the robustness of our economic management, particularly following the COVID-19 pandemic. At the end of December 2022, Jamaica was the only country in the Western Hemisphere, other than Guyana, where three things were simultaneously true. One, economic output was higher than pre-pandemic levels. Two, unemployment was below pre-pandemic levels. And three, debt to GDP was below pre-pandemic levels. In just over a decade, we have halved our debt to GDP from 147% to 72%, representing the lowest level in 30 years. We are on track to achieve a ratio of less than 60% debt to GDP by 2028. In fact, our net debt today is already below 60% of GDP. And just last week, global rating agency Standard & Poor's upgraded Jamaica's outlook from stable to positive. Jamaica is today one of the most stable and investor-friendly economy in the Caribbean and Latin America. Jamaica is the only country in the Caribbean with a freely floating currency with no foreign exchange or capital controls. I think that is deserving of a round of applause. And I believe that that is significant for investors to have the assurance that you would be able to move capital in and out of Jamaica quite freely. And we have been able to manage our free-floating foreign exchange currency float in a way that has kept our foreign exchange rate stable. And I think that is also an achievement in and of itself. Now, we have had 9 consecutive budgets without having to implement any new taxes. So not only is our capital market stable, and from a currency point of view, capital can move freely, but businesses do not have to worry about unexpected taxation in their planning. We have also had 12 consecutive quarters of economic growth after the pandemic. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica has several important assets that make it particularly attractive for investment by Indian businesses seeking global expansion. The first, we are the largest English-speaking Caribbean island. Second, we are a member of the Commonwealth with a Westminster-style parliamentary democracy with an unbroken tradition of seamless and peaceful transfer of political power. Our legal system, like India's, is based on English common law, and we also still retain the Privy Council as our final court of appeal. Most importantly, however, although Jamaica only has a population of approximately 3 million persons, Jamaica is strategically and ideally positioned to serve as the gateway for Indian innovation to the 1 billion people of the Americas. You may not know this, but Jamaica has the 7th largest natural harbor in the world. We are at the crossroads of the north-south and east-west trade routes that makes us especially suited to be the 4th global logistics node, comparable to Singapore, Dubai, and Rotterdam. On the aviation side, we are connected to 250 international gateways with over 700 international flights weekly. Furthermore, we are an hour and a half away from Miami and 2 hours, two and a half hours from Panama. The Kingston Container Terminal is one of the most modern ports in the region, managed under a 30-year concession by a subsidiary of CMA CGM, the 3rd largest shipping line in the world. Over the past decade, over $400 million has been invested in upgrading the port, which now has a capacity of 3.2 million TEUs. We have in place an attractive special economic zone regime with a headline tax rate of 12.5%, which after certain tax credits can go to an effective rate as low as 7.5%. These advantages make Jamaica an ideal logistics location for a strategic manufacturing and distribution hub for Indian companies looking for last mile connectivity to markets in the Americas. Jamaica's native English language advantages, human talent, competitive wages, and proximity and familiarity with North America have attracted some of the world's best known global digital services companies. In fact, there are Indian companies operating highly successful businesses in that field in Jamaica. There is, of course, scope to increase the numbers. We also want to welcome Indian companies providing software development and maintenance, cybersecurity, back office, finance, and accounting services. As the US faces increasing challenges and visa restrictions are increased, a nearshore IT hub in Jamaica would offer seamless solutions for US businesses looking to collaborate with technology teams without the complexity of traveling long distances to India. It would also mitigate the logistical challenges of time zones and travel for US clients. So on both ends, from the Indian side and from the North American side, Jamaica could be that central connecting point. We would like to see the establishment of an India InfoCity in Jamaica, modeled after the successful IT hubs in India. So I'm throwing that challenge out to the CII. This would create a collaborative space for Indian IT companies and professionals to set up their nearshore operations in Jamaica. There are also significant opportunities in agriculture and agro-processing. Jamaica's rich arable lands and nearshore location to North America could enhance the prospects for Indian companies to cultivate Indian high-value crops for export to the United States. For this reason, I am pleased to inform you that the Jamaican government has created what I like to call a special economic zone for agriculture, with lands for lease, and there are, of course, private lands for purchase, which can be used for different agricultural projects. The value proposition of Jamaica as a nearshore light manufacturing location and one for investment in agro-processing is enhanced by the fact that companies incorporated in Jamaica have access to preferential trade agreements with the US, Canada, and the EU. And there is great space and potential for these preferential access to be utilized. Tourism is, of course, a major foreign exchange earner for Jamaica, and we are looking for opportunities to diversify our tourism product. We are a proven, bankable destination for hotel investments with a very high and growing tourist arrival and one of the highest ADRs in the Caribbean. We also offer attractive investment incentives in tourism. We believe Jamaica's globally recognized brand as a premier tourist destination, combined with its strategic nearshore location, presents an ideal foundation for collaboration with India's world-class expertise in delivering high-quality, affordable healthcare and health technology. This partnership holds immense potential for the development of a thriving medical tourism sector aimed at the North American market. Another area for innovative partnership is in film and animation. India's vast demand for animation services, particularly in pre-production, aligns with Jamaica's growing capabilities in this area. We recently opened a state-of-the-art post-production facility, making Jamaica ideal to handle outsourced work overflows from various post-production developments. Infrastructure development is another area that could be tapped, especially as we are actively seeking to expand public expenditure in building out resilient infrastructure across the island. And Jamaica is currently engaged in a massive road network and supporting infrastructure build out, and we would welcome Indian interest in this area. Another innovative area is that of renewable energy, where we have begun significant work. We have a target of having 50% of our electricity generation from renewables by the year 2030. We are determined to realize this goal, and we are somewhere about 18% in terms of our electricity generation from renewables. This leads me, ladies and gentlemen, to our special interest in working with Indian companies on joint research projects and the technology transfer to enhance Jamaica's research and development landscape, particularly in the areas of biotechnology, as well as product and drug development using Jamaica's natural resources. Ladies and gentlemen, my visit to India, my first official visit as Prime Minister to India, is intended to herald a new era of Jamaica-India friendship and partnership. Our historical links date back nearly 2 centuries when the first Indians arrived in Jamaica. It is time to broaden and deepen those links through increased trade, investment, and people-to-people exchanges. I invite you all to come to Jamaica to witness firsthand the vast range of opportunities that we have to offer. We are the gateway for Indian innovation to the Americas. I think the time is right for a trade and business delegation from India to visit Jamaica. I mentioned this to Prime Minister Modi, and he welcomed the possibility of such a trade delegation. Friends, Jamaica is ready to do business, and we are eager to do business and to work with the CII as part of our commitment to deepening the relations between Jamaica and India. We therefore look forward to building on this conversation as we strive for the growth and prosperity of our peoples. I thank you.